welcome to In the North Bank. This is a special August review and a special transfer deadline show. So, joining me today, I'm still waiting on my mate George. He's gone AWOL, but he'll join when he can. And Gary as well. But in the house at the minute, we've got the bearded gooner, Tanner. How you doing? All the way across the pond?
Doing well, guys. 4:30 in the afternoon here on the East Coast, getting ready to kick off a holiday weekend here in the U.S. It's Labor Day weekend for us, and lots to talk about today. Villa game last night, transfer deadline day, lots to get to.
Lovely, nice, good. And Richard, welcome back. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me back, and great. Just settling down now and just watching the dying embers to see what transpires.
Indeed. We really do hope there's something going on in the pipeline. But yeah, no, let's hope. So just to start the show, really, we're just kind of going through what we've been doing this week and. Well, sorry, not this week, but here's George now. George, welcome.
Evening, how are we doing?
Hey, yeah, very well, mate, very well. So, we are going into our little review of August, and it probably is quite fitting just to kind of go back over last night, in all honesty. I thought it was a really, really good performance by the team and had a real good control over it. They created lots of chances. And again, it's just one of those games that perhaps maybe like the last 1 or 2 years, we may have struggled. Had we conceded that goal last season or the year before, maybe heads would have gone down and we would have lost that game or just drew it. What were your thoughts, Tanner? What time was that kickoff? So I'm getting. So it's afternoon for you, isn't it?
I'm 5 hours behind you guys. So it was a 2:30 p.m. kickoff yesterday for me over here. It's the kind of thing you look at and you say, in years past and seasons past, you think our heads would have stayed down, right? We would have been down on ourselves and not really pushed for the game winner or if you go back to Fulham, going down 1-0, try to tie the game. I think it just speaks to the resiliency that Mikel Arteta has instilled in this young group to say, look, just, keep chasing, keep going for that next goal. And I think, really that's the mentality that we have to have no matter the score is always go for that next goal. One thing I've always said, it's not our job to stop scoring. It's the other team's job to stop us from scoring, right? So, if we're up 3-0, go get the fourth. And when you get the fourth, go get the fifth. It's always the next goal. And I think that helps the mentality where we're up 1-0, we concede the leveler, go get the next one. Just go get the next one. So I like to see the resiliency and the response that we had yesterday and also going back to the weekend against Fulham. It's nice to see that we can, we have that mentality now because in seasons past it's been missing.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's good. George, welcome. Yeah. How was your feelings on the game yesterday?
I thought like we started all right. To be fair, I wasn't really too worried. I don't know if I've got that new breed of confidence. Like I felt the same at Fulham and last night. I think it just like the other person said, we need to become more ruthless. That's my only. I just think that the score lines recently have papered over the cracks. Like, I don't think Fulham and Villa are only one goal worse than us. Like I think 3-4-1 would have been fair results for those games. And I just think I thought we'd done all right, and I thought Sambi Lukenga actually done really well. Like everyone's having panics because we ain't bought anyone today, or not. I don't know if it looks like we're going to, but I thought Sambi actually stood up last night and played quite well. Yeah, so it was just another win, wasn't it? Like, we have to be careful because we're not allowed to celebrate too much, are we? So
No, it's strictly non-celebrate.
yeah,
Non-celebratory.
get the firework display out next time.
I think you're only allowed to nod
Unless
your
you
head, I think. But yeah, you're right. He had a decent game in the middle.
Because it's time to stand up, isn't it? To like, if he wants to have a future at the club. There ain't no other better time to prove that. When we've got. Just my only worry is Partey's my worry. You just can't trust him because he can't stay fit for longer than a few weeks. And I know people saying about a winger. I weren't bothered about a winger, to be honest. Like, it was just that number 6 role for me.
Yeah, there's priorities, isn't there? And it's one of those where you look at it and you think, well, is it? Can we? Are there other players that can kind of pop in and fill that kind of that position? Yeah, I'm sure we have got options there, and even when you look at Nelson.
Sorry about that.
Right? What was that? Oh,
I think he's had a problem with his connection.
He'll come back. But yeah, no, I think there were numerous decent performances. I think across the team, it showed from half-time stats. Like we had 16, 17 shots and 6 on target, and yeah, admittedly, could finishing have been better? Yes, but again, making those chances and getting those chances. But look, we had that penalty as well, which
well, I can't see how that wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, it would look good in the WWE. That tackle.
Outside the box, that pull on the shirt is a yellow card and a foul, isn't it? How's that not a yellow card? A yellow card and a penalty because he pulled his shirt back first and then chucked him to the ground.
He didn't. If he goes down, he gets the penalty. If Saka goes to ground on that shirt tug, I think they award it. But because he tried to play on and play through it, they let it go, and the chance was there, and we weren't able to take it. But I don't agree with it. I hate that you have to say the player needs to go down rather than fight through the foul. But if you want the penalty, that's what has to happen, because you look what Emi Martinez did later in the game when he practically bear hugged Gabriel Jesus in the box, and then he falls down and the referee blows the whistle and stops play. Like, what I've given up trying to understand, match day officials on the pitch, the VAR.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
absolutely there was a few dubious ones there, weren't there? I mean,
oh my god, yeah, and this is every game. This is every game. It's
Odegaard's yellow card
in the league. Yep.
That was two.
Yeah, I think
silly.
I think Villa could have had a few more yellow cards, couldn't they? And Odegaard's foul was quite innocuous, and he gets a yellow. Yet Ramsey's McGinn, how they stayed on the pitch, and then there was a couple of other players as well. I mean, it reminded me of Westwood on Wilshire a few years back, and the fouls he was committing, and then we got Chamberlain sent off for a handball against them. It seems that there's no consistency in that officiating, which is always annoying. And again, I mean, I think, yeah, we had a few. Saka had a few chances, but then Martinez pulled off a couple brilliant saves. He pulled off one from Martinelli, and was it Odegaard as two decent.
Yeah, we forced him into some
So,
saves, to be honest.
Overall, I think that should have been I think that should have been a 4-5-1 score, and it sort of flattered them a bit, 2-1. But we are creating chances.
One thing that I had said yesterday after the game, and it wasn't as unpopular an opinion as I thought it would be when I tweeted it out. Martinelli played lights out yesterday, but I feel like there were some chances that he could have created for teammates where he held onto the ball too long, and ultimately ended up conceding possession. That's one of those things that it's a bit of a catch-22. I want to see the selfishness in players like that, but at the same time, recognize where a teammate is open and has a better opportunity at a shot than what you do, because there were a few instances where he could have played a teammate in and just chose to hold on to the ball and basically just run himself out of possession, where if he sends a teammate in, they're one touch and a shot away, and who knows. I agree. The scoreline for Villa was absolutely flattering. Part of that is down to I think most of that, quite frankly, is down to us. I think we easily left 3 or 4 goals out there on the pitch yesterday. It should have been 4 or 5-0, in my opinion. I don't think Villa's goal should have stood. So I think the final scoreline should have been 4 or 5-0.
Yeah,
no, I think those two
that was it was a dubious one. I don't see how. Yeah, I don't see how the player wasn't interfering and stopping Martinelli getting that ball, but VAR knows they allow that to stand.
Yeah, I think we've got a bit of lag with you, Richard.
But it didn't matter, and that's the good thing, isn't it? What?
Yeah. At the end of the day, 3 points. That's ultimately that's the most important thing. So Real quick, guys, David Ornstein just tweeted out, Arsenal understood to have made third offer for Douglas Luiz. Latest proposal said to be 25 million. Villa adamant he's not leaving. The 24-year-old did a recovery session today with Villa and has been in Birmingham this evening. Arsenal are still pushing. That is from David Ornstein 2 minutes ago.
Lovely. Thanks for the breaking news there.
Breaking news, yeah.
So,
I bet the Sky Sports will probably pick that up in about 2 hours.
Yeah, that's it. That favour. It was the reporter who just had the nightmare with Tomiyasu. Yeah, it'd be something like that. No clue whatsoever. But yeah, no, let's say these kind of home games, I think, have kind of shown what we can do, and I think we've been more controlled with those games. And you look at even just like the 2 away games we had; they were 2 totally different games. For you've gone from one being at Palace, very tricky, always going to be a tough game. It's a London derby, and we come through it, and we got the win. And then there was the game at Bournemouth. I was still nervous about that game before the game, because I know what we've had when they were up before, but it transpired that it was a very easy game, and they're probably nailed on to probably get the lowest points total, I imagine, from any club coming up. I don't know, unless they got an absolute miracle with this a new manager that was going to come in. I don't know, but what was your thoughts on the away games just from seeing, I know obviously we've got a big one on Sunday, which is obviously going to be our main test, certainly going away from home. But yeah, that first game of the season I thought was really good, just to kind of get that win under the belt and just exercise a few of those kind of demons from last season. George,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, like I think the away game, especially the Palace away one, was quite a good result because we saw how bad we was only earlier this year. So, but obviously when we beat anyone, it's only whoever they are, isn't it? But the Bournemouth one that was over in the first 15 minutes, wasn't it? Really, which is a bit different normally because I think the last couple of times we've struggled against Bournemouth, haven't we? Like we haven't had it all our own way. So I just think we've got quite a different mentality now. Which showing, like I think Zinchenko and Jesus coming into the squad has elevated everyone else. And that's why I think you're going to see like the players that have got question marks against them, say like your Sambi, Lukengas, even maybe your Edin and Ketters, they just look different. I know Sambi's only one game, but even when Eddie comes on, like he changes, like he offers something different. But like in the away games, I thought we just done what we were supposed to do. Professional job, really. I just think everything just links back to Gabriel Jesus, doesn't it? Like what he does. Like he don't score every single game, but he's been involved in most of the goals for me.
Yeah, we'll go on to him in a minute. But yeah, I think definitely the home games just mould that all nicely in, don't it? With those performances where we've really kind of galvanised what we started. And the Leicester game was probably the best one because I'll put a word down to describe it: bounce back ability, and that was it. Four goals we've conceded, and each time we've basically scored within 5 minutes of that goal we've conceded. So it's quite nice. It's quite nice to have that, and just being able to kind of just maybe step it up and not give up, heads down. I thought it was really good. So yeah, fast performances, fast starts. I think that's our key now, and I think that's how we've got to approach every single game now. Richard, any other thoughts?
The Palace game. To be honest, most of the games, we haven't wilted under pressure. We stood up to the physical tests. I mean, you look at Palace 20 minutes. We dominated them completely and stood toe to toe. And when they did come back in, and they did put us under severe pressure, we didn't wilt and go and hide. And again, I mean, I think probably the thing I'm looking forward to is this team hasn't quite gelled yet. They're still both partnerships are still learning, and we're only a few games into the season. When we get into full flow, I think this could be a very, very promising team. I mean, we've been solid away. And that's the thing. All our goals have been conceded at home. We've not conceded away yet, which is good. And we seem to be a little bit more sensible in the way we attack. We don't expose ourselves. We attack with purpose. We attack sensibly and in a well-organised way. It's not just full throttle ahead and leave yourselves exposed, which is sometimes last season's what happened. And when George said I've watched Nketiah in his cameos so far this season, and he's improved. And last night, he looked absolutely beast when he came on, and he the way he was running at the Villa defence and taking it and into corners and holding it up and then bringing players in, but he looks hungry. He looks bigger. He looks like he was wanting to prove something. So that's good to see. And yeah, I mean, I think overall you can't be dissatisfied with those first 5 games. Performances have been there and results have been there as well.
Yeah, I think we certainly can't complain. 5 wins out of 5, 15 points. Tanner, any final thoughts on those games? What's stuck out for you?
I'm glad Palace away is done and over with now. That just seems to be a streak killer. You know, we could have won our last 8 matches in a row, all by a 5-0 score line. We go to Selhurst Park, they're fighting relegation, and yet somehow we make them look like prime Barcelona for some reason. So I'm glad Palace was the first match of the season, and it's done and out of the way with now. But we did our job in these first 5 games, right? We did our job. We should have won these games, and we did. Now it starts to, I mean, United, whether no matter your thoughts on them, this is going to be a tough match. It'll be our first true test, and let's see let's see where we stand going to Old Trafford now. You know, hostile environment, still a young side. Let's see what we have. But you have to be ecstatic at doing our job. But I don't think we're so happy that we should be crowning ourselves right now. There's a long way to go. And I've been saying for months, keep our heads down, stay humble, have each other's backs. We move to Old Trafford on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
They just beat Leicester as well.
Is it
1-0?
1-0 it was.
1-0.
Yeah.
Again. Just going to pop into the live chat. Ange is in the house. Says good evening, and yeah, agrees with us. Yeah, obviously, well, it's not a rocket science to say, but he is too injury prone, and yeah, he does command very high wages. So yeah, add it all up, and if they're not actually,
it don't work for us. Like, I love Thomas Partey, but and on his day when he's fit, one of the best players when he's on his day, when you see we've seen it for us a couple of times, one of the best in his position, but realistically it's not working because unless you've got someone who covers him, then you don't feel it as much. But like Douglas Luiz would have been it's not the best replacement, but it would have been a decent one. But then I think that's what happens when you're playing in Europa League football. You eat, if you're in Champions League, you can eat at a bigger table, can't you?
Yeah, I think you still find Arsenal have a pull.
Yeah,
I don't think that's ever lost. Again, it's all down to getting those kind of targets, and yeah, unfortunately, the other teams are coming up. We're seeing Chelsea now by doing another Roman Abramovich Mark II now with their signing, what they're doing, and they're chucking money left, right, and centre. Man United.
That's what the thing is as well, Bray, is that they don't think of it. Like everyone's saying, "Oh, we should buy this one, that one, that one." Arteta and Edu are never going to panic buy it. They've not done it, so they're not going to start now. They'll believe in those players that they've got in that squad. Like Mikel will be there if we can't get Douglas Luiz. He'll be saying, I trust Sambi Lukenga. Because that's just the way he is. Like, they're not going to go and bring someone in just for the sake of it. And because if that was the case, they would have done that last season.
Exactly. I look at it, you've got to just get through this kind of like mini.
Everyone forgets January's not actually that far away.
It isn't at all.
Because you've got the World Cup and everything.
Yeah, you've got 3 games now.
Yeah.
Obviously, being Man United, then we go to Zurich, and then Everton at home.
Yeah.
And then we play. There's an international break as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Coming up after
Weekend.
Brentford, isn't it?
After Brentford.
Yeah.
It's
So
after
we then
Brentford.
play PSV
The
and
international
Brentford.
break is the weekend before the North London derby.
That's it. Yeah. So it's only those games, and then you have that little kind of like, is it a 2-week break round near enough?
Yeah,
until
so
the
like
top-
you think about, so apparently Partey's supposedly meant to be missing up to 5 games,
yeah.
supposedly, unless he sneezes and gets another injury. But then,
That's highly likely.
so like that means he'll miss United, Zurich, Brentford.
Everton.
Yeah, I forgot about Everton. Everton
Yeah,
and
that could mean that he's then back for the London derby. But then, yeah, we've been there and done that about a Thomas Partey coming back from
yeah, and I just think,
injury.
but
in the North London
Zinchenko's
derby.
going to be back in that time.
That's another thing, and you look at it and you just think, well, there are players that can.
And if
come
worst
in
case, now you've got Ben White can go there, and then you've just got Tommy at right back. It's not.
Yeah, I don't think it's doom and gloom, but again, I think
No, I don't either. You're going to Meltdown FC will hit after the transfer window shuts tonight because it's
Yeah.
already circling. But I just like. There's nothing to say we don't go and buy Douglas Luiz and Yuri Tielemans in January.
If
Look, there's options.
think of it this way: if we had the Invincibles back, this fan base would still cry about not making it. About
Yeah, of
not
course
making.
they would.
I mean, it just. I've always been. I'm a little different. Being American, my viewpoint on things is a little different. I understand you always want to try to strengthen the squad, but I don't want to go so far trying to bring a player in as to damage the chemistry that I've created with the players that are already here as well. And a question that I have posed to people before, and I'll pose it to the 3 of you if I may. Imagine a situation, imagine a summer where we look at our team and we say, we're pretty happy with the 25-man squad that we have. We make absolutely no signings. Are you okay with that? If we take a team, just hypothetically speaking, take a team that wins the league the year before, we have no outgoing players. We're not losing anyone. We bring the entire squad back. Are you happy with no signings? And most people will say no, which is a very strange idea to me to say this team that just achieved the ultimate goal, same team the following season, yet you want to break that up. I that's something that I don't understand. So
See, with me, I only think we're 4 players away from that now. To be honest, like I think we need a backup centre half for Gabriel's side, another striker, a number 6, and a right winger. I don't, because you've got the youth coming through as well. Like I don't understand like all the talk about we need a right winger. At the end of the day, we've got Marquinhos that's coming, and people say, but we don't know nothing about him. Did we know that about Martinelli? That's what I
I
asked.
think Vieira can play in the right wing as well.
Yeah, and that's what everyone forgets about Vieira. And then I read something today. They went, if we buy Douglas Luiz, this is how stupid a fan is. If we sign Douglas Luiz, that's the end of Smith Rowe. Like, do you actually know about football? Because Douglas Luiz plays in a complete different position.
Yeah, it's not. You want competition. You want a player to be pushing another player, and this is what we've been saying about is what's been missing from our squad is our 11 was decent, but then there was no real pressure from behind to try and push.
Well, you go to last season, mate. We had Amari Hutchinson on the and Biraf on the bench.
There was no changes, nothing.
But now we've got the chance to do that.
Yeah, no, that's it.
At midfield, we are short. I'm I do appreciate that. Midfield, we are short, but I don't think we're not like in the chances. Oh my God, that's the end of it. We can't do any more. Because I've just named
I
like
think,
4 people to you guys who can play in that number 6 role to do a job. So
yeah, I think there was we weren't going to get a party replacement this year. It's just the injuries to Partey and El Neni, and they've looked at it and said, we do it now, and then we won't have to do it next summer. That was the
I only think we're looking at that, mate, because of El Neni. Like,
yeah,
because El Neni got injured, that's the only reason we're looking.
I like that Danilo.
Yeah, could do.
Yeah,
I don't really know much about
it. I agree with you. What we need. He's Danilo. He's a baller. He's a beast. He'll break up play. He's got a pass on him, and he's got an eye for goal as well. That 86 million release clause is well worth it if you're for a player so young. Yeah, it's only the Brazilian league, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to Madrid or it could come January, to be honest.
Okay, guys, let's head on to one last or one next point. Tanner, you're gonna head off. You're gonna head off in a minute. So this is gonna go to you to start with. So Saliba. Sorry, I can't. Yeah, oh, there you go. Yeah, down, George.
I would try and do it, but my voice ain't returned.
So is his rise proof of the player development masterclass by Arteta?
I mean, it's hard for me to agree with that simply because it's been a summer. I think it's more. I think it's more the benefit of being loaned out to a league in which he's very comfortable playing, and the experience that he got playing over there. Just playing time, not necessarily experience. I think the Premier League is light years ahead of the French league, but he played and he played well. It gave him confidence. And there's very clearly a natural ability there with him that I think is coming through. I think if we're going to give Arteta credit for Saliba, it's little things that he's done with him. It's just a tweak here, cranking the knob a little bit more here. Maybe vision, seeing things differently a little bit. Being in England. I don't think I wouldn't say his rise is all the way down, to Mikel Arteta and the coaching staff at Arsenal. I would give Arteta the credit for not bowing to pressure to bring him back. I think there was a plan that they said, look, he needs to go away and play in a different league where he can almost dominate a little bit, and then let him come back with the confidence that he's going to get over there, with the experience that he's going to get, with the playing time that he gets. Now we bring him back in. We've marinated him long enough in the French league. Now it's time to unleash him. So I think they could be given credit for that. But I would not put it all the way down to the development. As you look at the last 2 years, he spent the last 2 seasons in the French league. So some credit has to go there as well.
Yeah, so I'd say I think the development side of things was more the fact that we've allowed him to basically play 100 professional games in that period. He's had that exposure. He's played against decent talent in the league. Mbappe, Neymar, PSG. Yeah, not all the teams are the same, similar abilities, but it isn't that bad. It isn't that bad a league, and there's certainly there's more money involved in that league now, and you're seeing more and more players heading over there. So the standard is improving. But yeah, you mentioned one thing about him not bowing to pressure, and there was constantly Arsenal fans going, "We've just signed a 27 million pound defender. Why don't we play him?" My question is, what happened if we would have just played him straight away? Would we have had this same kind of effect? Or put it another way, had we assigned him, how many games would he probably have got at Arsenal?
Well, and that's just it, right? I mean, if you play him right away, and if you see that he's not ready right away, how do you keep trotting him out there and asking him to put in another game, and he's not ready yet. So I don't think he would be this if we would have just played him straight away. I think we would have experienced some growing pains with him, and then you got to take him out because you say, okay, look, we can't have him in there. He's a detriment to the team. We're not winning, so he's got to sit. Someone else comes in. Now you're ruining his confidence. He's second guessing himself when he goes out there to play his next game. So overall, I mean, look, hindsight is always going to be 20/20, but I think we got this one spot on. I really do. I think the way that we handled Saliba the last 2 seasons and keeping him here now, William Saliba could be the best defender in this league in 2 to 3 years, if not by the end of this season, potentially. Yeah. And on that note, gentlemen, I am going to bid you all a fond farewell. Gary?
Yeah, we're going to make a substitution.
Yeah.
Right.
Have a good evening.
You can only have one American on for an extended time on the British channel.
Hey, I stretched my legs. I got a good run out there. Now I'm going to turn it over to Riley Better.
You might have to play on Sunday.
Thank you guys very much. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care, mate. Okay, so on that substitution note, Gary, welcome.
Yes, sir. Hello. I can see everything on my screen is backwards. I'm not sure why that is. It's the first time I've done this, so.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Here we go. I think this is it.
There
All right.
Go.
Cool. I've actually used Restream, but I've always been the host, so there you go.
No, it's all good. So, yeah, your thoughts on Saliba?
On Saliba, well, as they said, I think it's worked out. Did they plan that? I'm not 100% sure they planned it this way. I think it just worked out perfectly for them. Because if this was the case, then I think Tavares would have been out in January. If this was part of their plan to look at a player, and then if it doesn't work out, put them in a situation where they can actually get the time that they need. Because Tavares and even Sambi are players that, we've seen. I think they've seen enough of them to know whether or not they're going to be enough for the squad. So I can't say it's worked, but I'm not sure if it was the plan. Like if you asked them when they first brought in Saliba, how's this going to work? And they said, well, we're going to try to get him out on loan. No, he either needed to go out on loan or he was playing, one of the two. So I kind of feel like they got it right, but I don't think they planned it that way, So I don't know how else to say it, but yeah, it worked out perfectly. But you can't. I don't think when we spent the 25 mil on him that anybody was thinking that he needs to go back out on loan, especially when Fofana was playing that season, right? And he supposedly was the better of the two players. So I don't, so. And Fofana now has dipped. It looked, we saw Fofana play, and we've seen Saliba play, now, and there's a big difference between the two. And maybe, maybe it did work out, but I kind of felt like, it looks like it worked, but I don't think it was the plan. I'll just go back to that.
And you, Richard?
Well, I don't think you can call it a masterclass because I think he's probably handled it the right way, but I think what you can say is that last season at Marseille brought him on brilliantly, and the training program they gave for off season. I don't know. Did you watch it on YouTube? In Dubai, I think that's added a level of physicality to get him ready for the league, and that's helped him immensely. But he's always had the talent. It was whether he was ever going to get enough games, as you've touched on, with 100+ games in a league which isn't, where every mistake isn't magnified, and I think that's done him the world of good. I don't think that's a masterclass by Arteta. He's looked at it. He's with the team around him, and they've said, put him out, see how it develops, and then see what if he develops the way we want. Then we'll have him back in. If he doesn't, we'll move him on. And they weren't sure, because otherwise you wouldn't be buying Ben White if you were 100% sure that he was a real Saliba was going to come back and be real deal. But it's worked out for them, and now they've got a back four, which, if you include Holding, that's really capable of taking us places.
Yeah, no, good. George, anything to add?
There's bits that I disagree with. Just to add the controversy to it. See, with the Ben White thing, I think they were going to sign him with whatever happened with Saliba, because if you look at how we're playing at the minute, we're playing with White as the right back, but he's more slotting as a third centre half. So I just think he's a typical Arteta player, Ben White. I think with Saliba, he didn't plan for him to send him out on loan or that, but you have to remember he lost, was it his mum or his dad or something as well in that time. So he could have stayed over here, but he was still a young kid. So I think Arteta thought, well, send him out on loan, he'll be closer to his family, and he cares about the players. They're not just players to him, are they? They're people. I'm not saying he planned it. I think it's like Gary said, he's dealt with it better. He's not planned it, because we didn't sign him and he was like, yeah, well, I'm going to send him back on loan, and then that's it. But it's what he does, because if I think Smith Rowe went to Huddersfield on loan, come back a different person. We're seeing Tavares has gone to Marseille on loan, and Balogun's gone to Rennes on loan, and they're doing really well at the moment. But with Saliba, I just think it was probably in the pipeline that he was going to get as much game time as he could. But I think he's always thought Saliba would be a playing for him. Like the Ben White thing, I think we look better with Ben White at right back. I think he's so underrated, especially this season. And I don't get why our fan base hates on Ben White as much. Just because Saliba's come in, there's a lot of Arsenal fans that don't like Ben White now. I remember having a conversation with you, Bray, the other day. We just don't get it. Why can't you have both?
Well, you can. Again, this is the conundrum that he's got now, which is it shows how far we've come in the squad.
It shows we have a squad.
Not a big squad. White,
big, but it's certainly.
No, think about just our center backs, right? If White is he behind our center backs, or is he going to be right back? What happens when we play? We had these midweek games. At some point, you're going to rest one of your center backs. What do? You bring Holding in,
We've got Tomiyasu who can play there. Tierney
Is
can
he
play
gonna?
there.
He can't
Older.
start right back now. How's he gonna start as a center back? He can't even start the position he's been playing for the squad for a year now. I mean, like I said, I don't think we don't have a full squad ready to go right now because Tomiyasu can't play a full game. Tierney seems to be back, so hopefully that lasts. But if it doesn't, Zinchenko has to move around again, and your midfield's weak. White goes to center back. You know, we're not there yet. We have some. If we stay healthy, we're lucky. We'll be good, and that's the same thing I said in January. If we're lucky, we won't need to worry about the January window. But there's no luck in this game. Somebody's you're gonna lose game time at some point for whatever reason, and we lost game time, and there you go. Next thing you know, you're struggling to get things going again. So, yeah, I've always said that we're like 10 players away, and we might still be at that number. For me, if we're a Champions League team, then we don't have a squad for that right now, and we are weak, and two of our center mids are out for an extended amount of time. We don't know when they're going to come back, and if it's hopefully it's nothing like Tomiyasu, because everybody was surprised by how long he was out. I hope that doesn't happen, but we never know.
Yeah, I mean, with that,
sorry, Rich.
We haven't got a squad for Champions League, but like last season, we weren't in Europe. This season, we're not in Champions League. We're only in Europa League. So our squad reflects that. I think the squad we've got, we should be able to drop players for Zurich. The only game that you might want to keep some of those first team players in is the Eindhoven. That's the toughest match we've got. The other two are we could play our under 21s and get a result because of the drop off in the quality of the leagues. It's the Swiss and the I think Norwegian Bodo Glint, aren't they?
Yeah.
And so they're a drop down in quality. And let's be honest, we should be able to swap and change those games and still win that group comfortably. And if we win that group comfortably, we're into the round of 16, and we don't have to play any round of 32 this season. So that's a bonus. Yeah, I mean, I think wise we've probably got an 18. We've gone from a 13 to an 18, and you can now. There's no depreciation in the if you're dropping players. You look at last night. You've lost Elneny and Partey, but Lokonga's come in and he's done the job. And some of that passing, I think the one out to Martinelli and Tierney in the first 10 minutes was supplying. So I think we're all right this season. Yes, next season we need to add more.
Yeah, no, let's say I said from like last season. I think I said on one of the shows with you, Gary. I said we were about 8 or 10 players away from where we probably wanted to be. Whether or not Arsenal would go out and spend on 8 or 10, that was obviously debatable. But the big thing was to clear out the players in the squad, and so yeah, we brought in a lot of players through the last like 2-3 windows. But we've also shifted out some of the deadwood out of there, and we finally got rid of the last two now. Bellerin's gone, Maitland-Niles gone. So we're now starting to see the squad fill up with players that we need, and now we can then add to those players even further as we go on. And this is what I'm talking about, stepping stones. And each time we improve the level and the quality of players that we've got in and around the club. It isn't going to happen overnight, and it's one of those where it's just progressively going to be done over the next window, and then maybe then look into the summer again where you suddenly improve it even further. But we certainly can't stay still. But again, you don't want to be too overstocked again with players, because it isn't going to make things really, really great when you've got, say, someone who's been bought in, and we have got, say, 3-4 players playing or vying for like one position that may be available. And at the end of the day, the squad don't need that. And is that really a necessity? Yeah, it may be a little struggle for 1 or 2 games, but look, there's players there. Yeah, we know we can't trust Partey. We know we need to get something sorted. But I'd edge my bets until January and then be looking and just saying, right, okay, well, yeah, we need one of these players. It doesn't look like Douglas Luiz is coming. I don't know if you saw the ticker down the bottom, but that's breaking news about 5 minutes ago. Villa have rejected the last bid for Douglas Luiz, so that's the 25 million or 25 million and something. A Mars bar and a cup of coffee or something.
I just went there. If I'm honest, I just went there being like idiotic about it now, Villa, because it don't make sense. So he's only got a year left. And apparently the reason they've put their back up against Wolves because apparently Edu spoke to Luiz after the game last night.
So did Gabriel Jesus, didn't he? They were
but I suppose that's a bit different, isn't it? A player talking to a player, but when you've got the director of football, whatever his job is, talking.
They used to call that tapping up.
Yeah, I remember. Don't know what it's called now, but obviously,
having a friendly chat on the football pitch.
Yeah, and it just, I don't know, it don't make sense to me, to be honest. I like with the defenders from what we were saying. All right, we've got 4 players that can play at centre half, but that's the same as what Man City and Liverpool have.
But we don't. But they're not. But they're not stretching. They're not stretching theirs though. Well, that's my concern is White hasn't played centre back this season, right? And he's already played how many games? He's played every game.
Oh, but you could say that about a couple of the Man City players. I think you're saying 10 players. I think that's a bit over the top. Like, cause personally, I think 5 or 6, and I said that last summer. Because apparently we was getting Jesus anyway. So after that. Because you look at Man City, Diaz plays near enough every week with Laporte. So that's just the same as what we would have with Gabriel and Saliba at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the central defenders are generally pretty, because they're not doing as much sprints and that they're generally quite robust and can last a season. Their injuries are normally impact injuries, jumping and
and that's what I think. And we've got players that can play in different positions. I'm not saying they're as good, but they're versatile. Like, so yeah, you're saying Tomiyasu isn't playing, but that's only because he's been injured. He's coming back from his injury, but he's come on.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy.
I think there's other places that's priority.
Left centre back and right back. Yeah, I mean, it's a party one, isn't it? It's that number 6 is where
it's the same problem as last season. And it's a similar what position we're in. Partey's got injured. Elneny, unfortunately, he's got injured. He doesn't normally get injured, but it sounds like quite a bad one. And we're back down to Sambi, and then you could move Xhaka, but you don't want to because he's playing.
You can't see me. I'm nodding my head. Just please, no. Xhaka cannot play number 6. He cannot play left back anymore for this squad. He's happy. Yeah. We are happy with him playing a high 8, push him further away from our defense. We'll take that. We've seen enough of that. We've seen Tavares play a fullback, and eventually we said no more. He needs to probably get out there and play in whatever role best fits him, but not the way we've been playing him. It just was not working. He just wasn't ready. And same thing with Xhaka. Left back, no, he cannot play a 6. I think that would be really, really
That's what I'm
scary.
saying. So you keep him at 8, and then you've got Zinchenko that can play also when. And then
I think I'd prefer Zinchenko.
It's all ifs.
he's
It's
very
all ifs
similar,
and
isn't he?
maybes, isn't it? It's praying that people don't get injured, but
And that's part of why you need to build your squad a certain way, and yes, I knew that we knew. I mean, I knew this 2-3 seasons ago that Arsenal's best bet was just to pay these players to just leave because they're not going to use them. They never used them, and now they're just letting them walk out the door for free anyway. So you gain nothing by keeping them, loaning them out, because we've gotten nothing for any of those players, right? I know the FFP thing doesn't work, but we've done absolutely nothing. We haven't been paying some of their salaries anyway, so the monies isn't really being saved at all. The punishment should have happened as early as possible so they can start to rebuild, efficiently. But we've just been dragging these things on every season. Like even now, we've got players out on loan. They have to come back.
Yeah,
like Maitland-Niles potentially could come back. I think. I don't know. I'm not sure if that
they've got
buyout
an
is
option
if it's
for
an
a
option.
year.
Is it? It's not.
We had an option to extend for a year, so I think we've extended that for a year, and they've got an option to buy, I believe. And I mean, it won't.
And then obviously
I think it's only like 5 million, but it's 5 million we might not have got.
No, and sometimes you just need to take the money. I think we haggled with Xhaka, and we should have just sold him. We should have just taken the loss and moved on, right when we had the chance. We saved him. Not if we're the fact that we've moved him forward to keep him here. I don't think I don't like that move. Because he's not. That's not where he's he's been. That's not where he's played before. But it's made it easier for him to keep him on the pitch. But I don't see us doing that for other players sometimes. But,
it's an intriguing one with Xhaka, and obviously he's had this kind of renaissance, and you could say that he's probably one of our best performing players. Certainly, the latter part of last season going into this season, he seems to be a bit more mature, I would say, in his performances, and he seems to have that. He's almost like taken a little bit, and he's taken maybe some of the criticisms and some of the things, and he's just had a look about things that have happened with him, and he's suddenly become this player that people are looking up to and respecting. I think you can see from the All or Nothing how well he is liked. I think within the group. So yeah, it's interesting. I'd love to see him get a few more goals. I said I want to see him get double figures. Yeah. I'll tell you what, that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
So
that would justify him being further up the pitch, right? If he can score, because if not, he's just a body running around putting balls in, which have less of a chance to go in. I mean, we did get that goal the last game because of him, right? I mean, the first goal, I think the save got spilled, but it was a nice shot. Yeah.
It's crazy. Assist, wasn't he? Yeah.
So, but you say he can spot a pass, and as I say, in the day, if he's creating chances for a Jesus running forward or Nketiah, and certainly can play those balls, we don't want him to be picking up the ball on the edge of the area or whatever and playing those balls deeper. That was kind of like what Ozil used to do.
Yeah, I think what we've seen. Yeah, I think what we've seen with Xhaka is that move forward has highlighted his qualities and hidden his deficiencies. We know what his deficiencies are. But being up that far forward, it means he doesn't have to make a rash tackle. He can be more considered, and his passing range and his ability to pick a pass and that shot is been highlighted this season with those assists. And there've been a few games where he's got in on the back post and could have maybe should have scored a goal. So we still need an upgrade, but he's a decent squad player, and I'd keep him in the squad until you can get a better upgrade.
Well, that's it. All you're doing is you're trying to add competition in a round, and I'd say he'll play until he gets to the point where someone can come in and then do the business. At the minute, you kind of almost seem like you take him out of the team, and certainly last season, take him out of the team, the squad or the team doesn't actually seem to perform as well as when he actually is in the team. And yeah,
but we won 10 games in a row, or didn't lose in 10 games when he was out.
Yeah,
I don't. It is the one thing he definitely brings, and the one thing as much as I would like to see him gone, he's definitely a leader to the squad, more behind the scenes than on the pitch. As much as I know he does some things on the pitch, but I think behind the scenes he definitely he's kind of a glue for sure. And when I hear him speak, I'm always like, I want that guy on the pitch sometimes, not the guy drawing yellows and stuff like that in the matches and stuff. That's not, the rash guy on the pitch. I'm like, how can you do all this stuff behind the scenes? And then when it comes to the game, I see these rash challenges or these silly moves that you're doing. He, like you said, the fact that we've moved him has lessened those opportunities for him to make mistakes. But he's doing well, and we'll keep him as long. But we'll keep him, but we need to, like you said, we have a lot of other holes that are more important to fill. So there's no reason for us to let him go. Not today, anyways.
No,
not today.
So we've scooted on him, and we know what he's been like. But seriously, how good is this man, Gabriel Jesus, this season? Certainly to the team.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, I think his involvement in all the games that we've played so far, the goals, the assists, just the whole all-round play, he elevates everyone. Like Richard was saying, like with Nketiah, he comes on, he just looks about, people say he ain't scored, but he just looks, he's got more about him. And I think like when you bring people in like Jesus, he's a winner, isn't he? Like, no one, we don't have that. No, we didn't have that before Jesus and Zinchenko come in. But so yeah, I think 45 million, wasn't it? I think that's probably got to be a bargain of the season for me. When you see, especially like what other clubs have paid for players.
45 and a penny.
Obviously, I know Haaland wasn't that much money, but you kind of know what you're getting when you sign Haaland. But with Jesus, I think there was a lot of people was like, "Oh, well, he weren't good enough for City," sort of thing. But I just mean in general, not like Arsenal.
That's silly because he played lots of games for City. He just had you look at the players City had.
There's a lot of a mythology about it because he never scored goals apparently, but I remember it. He scored a few. Right? All right, he didn't score what he probably wanted to. But I was listening to an interview of him, and he was like, he was scared to play number 9 for a long time after that World Cup. So he's obviously got his confidence back, and we're gaining from that. So I don't really care if he left City, to be honest, because he's our player now. I said that he could score at least 20 plus goals this season. I don't think that's a silly remark to make. There's no reason why he can't.
Definitely. No, I think.
He's definitely. He's definitely. You know what? He's definitely a team player because he definitely took a step back when he played for City. We're seeing that because here we've given him more responsibilities and he's taken it, 100% and given us everything that we need, that we've been missing, right? We needed somebody up top. We needed somebody up top that can do multiple things, and he's done everything that we wanted out of a forward in Arsenal system, in Arteta's system, right? So he'll come back, he'll start the break, and he'll be in the box to finish off if he needs to. We're scoring goals. We're what, the top scoring team in the league, right? And the main thing we've done is change and put him in there, right? So he's definitely, and the leadership on the pitch, and we've seen it on the bench. That's what we've been missing. I've said it multiple times. We're missing some of this leadership on the pitch, and when he gave that pass to Ødegaard and Ødegaard didn't shoot, you could see it. Like, come on, let's go. We're playing much better football, and it has nothing to do with the talent. It's just the way that we're playing now, and the leadership that we have on the pitch is much better. And he's one of the key reasons for that. So it's definitely worth, like you said, what is it, 45? He's definitely worth a lot more to us than Haaland is to City. All right. City just needs to get a guy in there that is clinical, and they got one. He's big too, powerful and strong, but you take any of the forwards out there, the top level ones, and put them in that system, they're going to work just the same way. But we needed more, and I think we've got exactly what we needed up top. And it'd be nice if we had another one somewhere else on the pitch, but we don't. But he's been exactly what we needed, and worth everything we've spent on him. We got to keep him safe. You know what I mean? I don't like when I see him on the ground. Every time he falls on the ground, I'm like, oh, that's just, that's going to wear on him for the season.
Get the bubble wrap out.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think just in general, I just think he's just more switched on as a player. So we've obviously had the latter part of Lacazette and Aubameyang, and you have, by just seeing what the change is like this season, you could easily say that they just weren't really interested and interacted in the way Arsenal want to play. And it goes from when Aubameyang was abolished from the squad, Lacazette come in, but then his role again, holding the ball up, coming so deep, but then doing nothing with it.
He was more playing
over.
like a midfielder for me, Lacazette.
Yeah, but when he holds the ball up, he falls over, and it was like, then you see Jesus, and he's picking up the ball, and he's on the turn. He's got a defender right up his back, and then he's trying to turn to then see about getting a shot on goal. And
I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but I'm going to have to leave. I'm hoping I don't leave too long, but if I'm back, hopefully I'll be able to catch you guys and close out the show with you. Hopefully, but we'll see.
No worries.
Thanks for having me on, Paul, Richard, and George.
Take it easy, Gary.
All right.
Mate.
Okay. All right.
Take care, mate. Good speaking to you.
Okay, good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so I was just saying it's just having that bit of purpose about his play, and it was something that we missed certainly going forward.
This elevates us really, and it makes everyone else try to get to a level, so it makes them want to be a better player as well. So it's just a win-win really.
But how many times last season were we kind of like, when we were just obviously not creating many chances, we just looked very kind of undynamic.
Yeah, because that I was saying to someone as well, like everyone says that Saka needs a rest. There could be a chance that Arteta changes it and actually plays Eddie and Jesus up front, which we saw briefly in pre-season.
Yeah.
Like that, they linked up quite well.
He did it against Fulham as well, didn't he?
Yeah. So
he went to a 3-1-4-2 against.
Yeah.
So
when we went down,
saying these things shows that we have moved on, we have improved, and as tired Gunsaurus said, Eddie has become a far more mature and a team player. But the way he stretches the play, I think it was really good.
And his goals will come, but he's only coming on for the last 20 minutes. So, but he's changing the game.
But
so he's all round play.
Be in the Europa League, don't you? I think he'll get. I think he'll start in the Europa League, and he might even start against Brighton in the Carabao Cup.
He'll probably score about 10 goals in
That's
the
the
group
thing.
stages.
We've got like two teams. We've got two teams that we can play, and I would put that.
I think that's where we're
Europa
going to see
League,
the best of Vieira in the Europa
this is
at the
it.
start of the Europa League.
You're going to build him up to play, get some game time and way of playing, and he'll get his time in Europa League. The same with Smith Rowe. This is a challenge for Smith Rowe now, where Sonny said,
Yeah.
he's obviously been set the challenge by Arteta, but he's got to get game time. And by playing in those fixtures where he's got a bit more time, maybe it's a confidence thing with him as well, because we know from that All or Nothing, he's a bit of a sensitive, shy boy. He's a youngster, so at the end of the day, do we need to really build up his confidence and make him believe in himself again? Because again, I think that's what they said his problem was. He didn't really think or feel that he would be that good, as in he doesn't understand his talent or how well he could be.
And also something we've got to think about with these players we've got. Like, we've got two of the best youngsters out on loan that they've said if they have a successful season, they could be a big part of our squad, and that's Cuthby Norton and Charlie Patino. Patino's a number 8. Like, we saw how he burst on the scene. I'm not saying he'll be playing next season, but like with Xhaka, he could be that replacement. So that Arsenal don't need to go out and buy someone. And then, like, Norton's meant to be, well, if you believe what you read, he's meant to be really, really good. So you've got, like, we have got a squad. Yeah, we do need 3 or 4 players, but with people like Smith Rowe, maybe the Europa League in breaking through will be the confidence he can get him a couple of goals. Because, like, everyone says, oh, but Erdegaard's playing well. It don't matter. Sometimes he might not play well, so you have to take him off and change the game. So that's where you bring on Smith Rowe and your other option. I just think the squad's in a better shape. I don't have to see 3 or 4 academy graduates on the bench. You actually see people that play Premier League football.
Yeah, well, that's only going to help Arteta, and you do realise like how his hands were tied like last season, where he knows deep in his mind that those players that he's had to pick aren't able to do what he's done, but he's had to obviously just get bums on seats.
Yeah, look at Douglas Luiz today. They've gone out to try and get him. What else are they meant to do?
Well, again,
you can't force a team to sell them.
No, and like 25 million. So the last bids, apparently, it totals up to about 27, 28 million. I'm not being rude, but I wouldn't pay anything over 30 million for Douglas Luiz with a 1-year thing left. I said this about Tielemans. I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, for someone that you could go in on January and then suddenly organise.
Get him for 15 million if you're lucky.
Yeah, look, but that's if we've identified those two, then I'd happily see us trot with what we've got until January, and then straight after the World Cup, announce 2 signings.
Yeah,
that would be, I think, a better way of doing it at the end of the day, because
don't get me wrong, we do need, if we go into that January 20 window and we don't bring a midfielder in, then Arteta and Eddie have to take responsibility, and then there's a big chance we could miss out on whatever our targets are because of that.
Well, certainly, that's it. Then there's always an answer to be had, then, isn't there? And questions will be asked, because it happened last year and we kind of rode a gamble.
Because then they're obviously not learning. But at the minute, like I still honestly believe, mate, we weren't looking for a midfielder before Elneny got injured.
No. So it's just forced our hand, and the end of the day, we've identified a couple of. It is what it is. It's
You never know. They might, if this was us years ago, and everyone laughs at it. This Arsenal would go out and sign Ross Barkley on a free just to appease the people.
Yeah, I can see Edu out is trending on Twitter now.
Yeah, that took him long, didn't it? Don't matter that we signed Zinchenko and all that, but
it's just
And this is what I say, like, this is our fan, and it is our fan. We're talking about our fan base because it's Arsenal. But maybe I'm wrong, but social media supporters really need to get a grip. We go football, Bray, and all that. We don't have conversations like this in the pub. Oh, where dude's got to go, or I've not spoke to one person like that, or they just seem really. I don't even know what the word is. Like, not real.
Yeah, I get a lot
Play
of it.
too
is
much
like that.
FIFA sort of thing. Like,
Its views are sensationalized and they're done for effect and
it's all reaction based clickbait, really.
Yeah, I don't think some of the views that I see are from true fans as well. You get a lot of people who spend their life pretending to be a fan of another club. Yeah, you get them all kind of like following like other clubs' kind of like Twitter feeds, and as soon as something gets posted, they're straight on it, and it's like, well, why are you replying to another team's tweets and stuff? It's like, yeah, just get.
Because this is my question at the start of the summer. If you said to most Arsenal fans, I'll ask you two this because obviously you're a fan, that we were going to sign Zinchenko, Jesus, Fabio Vieira, Matt Turner, and Marquinhos, and then a high chance that Saka and Martinelli and Saliba could sign new deals. What would you say?
Well, I'd be happy with that. Take it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I probably would have possibly wanted was another forward who could have played across the three positions, but that would have just for a little bit of depth in there and variety. But that was
it's not a transfer window that warrants people saying Edu's got to go, does it? That's what I mean.
It's been a good transfer window.
Yeah,
especially
I
the
think
prices we've paid.
Yeah, especially what some teams are paid. Look at United; they spent over 200 million.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was it 110 million for Zinchenko, Vieira, and Jesus combined?
It's not bad, is it? No, especially if Vieira turns out to be the player what they say he will. Like, imagine if he turns out to be someone like a Bernardo Silva sort of player, and then you're looking at what we've spent money on, and you're thinking, like, I'm not being real. You see Morgan Gibbs White go for 40 odd million.
Yeah.
And if Fofana's going for 75 million, I'd love to know what Saliba's worth. 100 million plus, if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you, I think if Wolves have signed 22 players.
Oh, Nottingham Forest,
now?
Yeah,
Nottingham Forest. Well, I mean, they had lost a lot of their players. Well, when they were in the Championship, so they've needed to, but that's still a lot of players to come in.
Yeah.
But you can't knock them for trying to stay.
Well, I hope they stay up on the base of it, because if they go down with all them players, they're screwed.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see those contracts. They must only be a year or whatever like that.
Well, you think Lingard's on 300 grand a week? Or 200 grand a week, sorry?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Williams come back as well, hasn't he? So,
and they just signed Carlos Vinicius from Benfica.
Vinicius.
I think he's another forward. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the one who's played for Spurs?
No.
So, I mean, I think the team, I had Leicester as potential relegation candidates, but
yeah, I did as well.
Actually, having a look at it after the first few games, I'd be more worried about Everton and Leicester I didn't have Leicester down at the beginning, but I had Bournemouth, Fulham, and Everton. But I think Leicester are probably are the ones that have got to really watch themselves now.
Is that you said, Brado?
I think Fulham,
Like you can't. No one
Yeah.
can stand still now because everyone's spending money.
Yeah, we
I think
we have to learn, don't
I
we?
think Fulham might be all right.
Well, they got a
But,
striker that will score goals.
They're getting back to us. I like what I've seen from Jesus. Again, last night, pre-match huddle, he was the one giving the speech. He was the one I've seen in games at set pieces. He's the one saying, "No, you need to be there," and moving them about and organising. He seems to be the vocal leader on the pitch, and I mean, you've also got Zinchenko, who's come from a place where he's used to winning, and he's only 25. So you've got two winners, and with what we went through last season, I think we've just made that step up, and we are. I'd be confident of saying top four easily. I think we could be best of the rest. I still think City and Liverpool are the two teams to beat.
Oh yeah, I think we know when we set when they set our objectives and our goals for the season, or certainly this season. I don't think it was mentioning, we need to get closer to them too, because I still think we are years away from that level on a consistent basis. Yeah, we want to get there, but we're not there yet. And yeah, we talk about squad depth. We talk about how we was last year. 14, 15 players we finished with. We got our players back on loan. They've all gone again, bar Saliba. And yeah, our new signings. So when you look at it like that, 9, 10 players on top of that 14 will give you that 24, 25 players for your squad. And that's kind of what you need. And that's where we need to get to. And if we've got that level of player with those numbers, then surely we're in a better position. But our goal would have been to get closer to Chelsea, get close to the top three, and that's it. So we only missed out by 2 points, as we know.
And only 5 points behind Chelsea, and we give them a 7-point head start.
Yeah, so we have to get there, and we have to make sure we do that. And if we carry on with what we're doing, and we cut out some of the results that we had last season, like 9 losses away from home.
Yeah, that's where you're getting hurt.
9 wins, 9 losses, and 1 draw. I think it was.
And we've reversed one of those losses already at Palace, haven't we?
Well, that's it. But that's again over a long term. This is. I would say that would probably be the biggest one as well. The biggest goal would be to improve that away record and the way we play, and even just being better with those big 6 teams as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say personally, I'd say 85 to 88 points. Now, if you win 4 more away games, there's 12 points. That brings you to 81. Yeah. So, and it is that away form. We were third best team in the country at home, 6th best away from home, and that's what cost us, that away form. I mean, I think we go to Old Trafford in the belief that we can get a result. The only thing that tinges that is our record at Old Trafford. it's even we've been there when they've been in dire shape before, and they've beaten us. So that, but I still believe this team at this moment in time has got what it takes to go there and get some kind of result.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. I think it's come at a good time. I think United, even though they've come up with obviously a decent result against Liverpool, who also aren't playing great, but then they've also then picked up 2 1-0 wins to back that one up. So yeah, we're going to go there again. You have to have the belief, but you've also got to go knowing that we've got tools to hurt them. And if we start fast and we start well, then we could get at them. And hopefully, Harry Maguire's playing.
And Luke Shaw.
But, yeah, but no, I'm not sure.
I mean, from the game tonight, most of their back line had yellow cards tonight. This is against the Leicester side that's not the best. Dalot picked up an early yellow. So did the Argentine guy, Martinez. He picked up an early yellow. And by the end of it, Malacia and Varane had picked up yellows. So they can be got at quite easily.
They would have been reds for us.
Yeah, probably.
Only if it was Xhaka.
But yeah, I think we've got reasons to be confident. We're not going to go and win every game, but I think we're going to be competitive in every game. That's the difference. I think we can go to places like City, Liverpool, and we've been there and we haven't looked like scoring. I don't think that's the case this year, from what I've seen. I think we can go there.
Just there, no, the window's shut now.
We'll put the chances away when we get them.
Yeah, so yeah, the window has fully shut. I think Big Ben has just rung. So I think that's it.
Now I hope Aston Villa get relegated.
They say 49 seconds.
Yeah.
Or is this slightly behind?
No, I just I don't get the drama.
Hope Villa get relegated now.
Yeah, so that's quite that's it.
Yeah, we tried our best.
There's not much you can do, is there? If you're putting 3 bids in for a player.
So yeah.
Yeah, and the last one was what nearly 27, 20, up to 28 million, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think you pay any more for a player in the last year of his contract. If you're not willing to pay that for Youri Tielemans, you're not willing to pay that for
Douglas Luiz.
Well, look at it. I look at it like this now. Steven Gerrard's obviously said no, so he's not playing him. He's now going to have a very unhappy player.
Yeah, and he said he wanted to move to Arsenal today as well.
Yeah, but he's got a very unhappy player now. He feels that he's been blocked out of a move that would have seen him play Europe and get involved. And
the thing is, it gave him a chance to get in that Brazil squad, didn't it? That would have been.
You look at it and you think, well, yeah, it's given him a chance, a platform, and that's been taken away from it. That's a potential sacking.
But I would say I do not be surprised if Arsenal don't try and go in for another deal for him in January.
Yeah, well, that's they.
Because I don't know, just what do you get the pre-contract? Can you do that from one Premier League club to another?
No,
so. Well,
not from January. You can't, but you can. You can probably set something up with a player and say, look,
they'll always be speaking.
Yeah. If we sign you in the summer, this is what we're willing to offer you in the summer.
Yeah.
But I think they've already agreed terms yesterday or last night, apparently.
Yeah. So
So that's the rumor that was all done and dusted.
Yeah, like a personal terms were agreed. It was just if they agreed to
Just a
deal,
fee.
then it would have been done.
So there's two ways, isn't there? It's
And I
either-
reckon that's what's happened with Tielemans. I reckon they've said, "Oh, we'll pay this for you, Yuri," and that's what they said to his agent. And then Leicester have said, "Well, no, we want that." And they've said, "Well, if you run your contract down, we'll definitely take you next summer."
And we'll give you X amount for signing on.
Yeah, he's only on 33 grand a week.
Yeah, I don't see too much of a problem.
Like now, I honestly think in January they'll definitely go for midfielders now.
Yeah, I think a wide forward midfielder and maybe that Gabriel position is.
But then I was looking at that, like Austin Trusty. I know but he's been playing really well for Birmingham, so I don't know if they're going to think, hold on, we've got players that could do this. It all depends if they fit the profile, doesn't it, again?
Yeah, big thing. But no, I just want it to settle down now. We know. I almost wish this has always been a contentious thing. You wish the transfer window would be shut before the start of the season because you.
Wenger always wanted that, didn't he? Wenger was always
going around during the season, and it just mixes it all up and messes it all around. You know what I mean? You could be supporter of a team that then suddenly is like a load of clubs are after your players, and they've all been unsettled because you don't want to sell them.
Look at Leicester.
But they're all over the shop, and it's like, well, they haven't got enough time to get players in and whatever. Plus, they're going to have unhappy players, and you just think it's just a nightmare. I think Leicester have really messed themselves up. Don't know what's happened with them.
I think a lot of it's down to the COVID because of the owners lost quite a bit during COVID.
Yeah.
And then that's impacted upon what they could do.
I just look at the Schmeichel situation, and I look at that, and I just think,
and he would never leave, would he?
And you had Leno there, and you're suddenly thinking, surely if there was a choice between either say Fulham or Leicester, he probably would have chosen Leicester.
Yeah, I think he would.
I just wonder if many people don't like Edu, where he don't take no crap. Like they're either a chance to get a deal done or not. Because if he's not interested, he pulls out, and that's why today I reckon Villa said, "Oh, you can have him for like 40 million or something."
I think it's also a bit of our past as well, where they thought we want this and we've paid it in the past.
Yeah, and they knew how desperate we was for a midfielder today.
We're not that soft touch anymore. So, which is good, I believe. And now we've got players now that have resale value. You've no longer got an Ozil or a Mustafi that isn't. You're not going to get money. You're not going to get money for, and you're going to have to pretty much say, "Yeah, we'll pay your train fare and extra just to get you out the door."
And that's what I was just saying. Like I was saying to Bray earlier. Now, this is Sambi's chance to prove all those doubters wrong and stand up. He's got a chance.
You see, again, I don't get that. I mean,
I like Sambi. I think he's a decent player.
What did he have? 19 games last season in the Premier 18, 19 games in the
his
Premier
first
League.
season.
And he's a youngster. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he wasn't brilliant in all of them, but
he wasn't brilliant, but he was sold down the.
He's learning the league.
He was sold down the stream though, wasn't he? Because like he was brought in and then he was thrown into that Thomas Partey role, like bang, like he was. And was it one of his first games was against Liverpool? Like hold on a minute, like
it was. I think what you found is that he was coming in as an inexperienced player, but the trouble is the team around him was just very
inexperienced,
unbalanced. Unbalanced and just generally just out of shape. And we've spoke like for years about our midfield, all from the Ramsey days. Ramsey and Xhaka, the distance between the two kind of central midfielders. We were always talking about there was not the balance in central midfield, and finally we seem to have got that kind of balance. Obviously with Partey there, but now just having that one player there, be it Sambi or anyone else to step in there. There's
what I think
covering
as well last night was that White was stepping in, like they've been doing most of us. They've been stepping into that alongside side to make an extra midfielder. And
they're all covering each other and they're all helping each other. Where last season there wasn't. I don't think they was as tight as a unit. And if you listen to Ramsdale, he says sometimes you have to get really, really hurt and really, really hurt to become better. And he said that Tottenham, and when we missed out on the top four, that stunned them for weeks. So I don't know. It's disappointing we didn't bring anyone in, but we tried, and two, we're still top of the league.
And we're the only one with 100% record.
Yeah,
I mean, City have drawn. I think Tottenham are the only other team now that haven't lost. It's us.
They lost. We're a true couple
City,
now.
Us, City, and Tottenham are the only teams who haven't lost a game. Brighton and Newcastle lost in the last couple of games. So, yeah. And you look at, I mean, Palace took points off Liverpool.
Yeah.
So, and they say we haven't played any. And Fulham took points off Liverpool. And they say we haven't played anyone of note.
Yeah, this is my argument.
Yeah. So, this league is tough. There are apart from Bournemouth, who are pretty poor, you're not going to have a game where it's you're going to have an easy run through. Every game's going to be a battle. But I think we're well equipped. I think.
Yeah,
we look dangerous going forward.
Yeah, definitely. Attacking wise, I'm not bothered. It's just that number 6 role that worries me.
Yeah, I mean that. But if Zinchenko is back, which I think he was just.
Well, he trained yesterday.
Yeah, I think he was just short for the Villa game. They might save him and not using the United game, but they might decide that he's capable of playing United game, and if he is, I think you'll probably see him drop into that number 6 role.
Yeah, like just now for me, like we move. It's not been a great deadline day for us, but we move with that. But then if we don't go and buy a midfielder or the positions that we need to in January, and I know it's hard in January, then questions have to be answered. Because
I think that's right. I think if we get to that January break and we're in a good position, then you need to go, and you're in a position where you can say, "Hang on, we've got a chance at outdoing what we thought we were going to do. Let's make sure and absolutely cement that." Then there's questions on there do Arteta and the owners, isn't there? Because if you put yourself in such a good position this year where you could say, okay, come January we're still in the title race, then you say you want reinforcements.
Yeah, I agree.
So you don't drop off completely.
Yeah, no, I think we'll be fine. I think
just don't go on Twitter tonight because it'll be Meltdown FC on there.
No, I see. I'm quite good where I can kind of just I'll just detract from it, and I've got my wits about myself, and I understand what needs.
If you were ranking clubs, you'd say City and us had the best two windows.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
City have bought Haaland. They haven't really bought him for the Premiership because
Yeah, I bought him for Champions
No.
League. And
they bought
bought
him
for
to win the
everything, really.
Champions
That's
League
it. But yeah, it's someone
because
who's gonna score
they were
goals.
winning the Premier League without a real number 9.
But
So
again, you don't stay still.
no,
no.
and
So,
they've got Alvarez as well.
Everyone else is going to improve, so you've got to go and improve. And then that was they got around not having a striker for nearly 2 years, or playing that way. And now they've got this guy in, and yeah, he's going to be a beast. Well, we've seen he is going to be a beast.
See, Liverpool are the ones I think that second position is now up for grabs. Having a look at
I know
that
they brought Arthur Melo in today, but
most of that midfield is 28, 29, apart from sort of Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott and the Carvalho they got from Fulham.
yeah,
But they're not playing them, going to play them every week.
I don't think Liverpool are that. Like I think Liverpool can be caught. To be honest,
Yeah. I think that midfield is where they're what's done them this season. It's not as strong, and they haven't got that energy that they've had in the last couple of seasons. And I think
Bellerin's move's just gone through officially.
Yeah.
To Barcelona. So
that's good. Well, he was a good servant.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same after that injury at Chelsea.
No, I mean we got him from Barcelona, so giving him a ticket back when you're not going to play him is reasonable. And he, as I said, he did us good for a while.
He won a few FA Cups, didn't he? So
yeah. No,
I've got no issue with players like that when they go back to their own home clubs.
No.
Well, apart from Fabregas. Fabregas should have stayed another 3 or 4 years before he actually left.
Yeah, maybe. But again,
one reason why. Well, sorry, there's 2 reasons. Like Xavi and Iniesta. Goes there. He doesn't get the game time,
and he would have done if he stayed a couple of years.
But you think his stock as Arsenal player at that time, and it was really high, and it was only going to get higher and higher and higher. And had he have left it another 3 years at the rate he was going, he would have walked into that Barcelona side just as those guys were starting to retire, and then there would have been a place for him. Now he was a forgotten man at Barcelona. They didn't want him. Yeah, he won a couple of trophies, but again, he weren't. It was a bit part player. All he got was his trophies that for the international team, and they cast him away. So it was that kind of that homecoming kind of like signing, and it was like, well, he ain't going to go down as a legend there because like as in a homeboy coming home and playing his best football, and he got moved out the door, and you suddenly just he burnt his bridges by doing what he done to get out of the club at Arsenal, I think. But we had the offer to sign him back again, but we chose.
Yeah, well, at that time Wenger had said,
and then the rest is history.
Yeah, and you had Wenger had Ozil, and he'd been hurt by Fabregas. He wasn't having him back. I mean, I think we've got a far better team, and again, Ødegaard, class.
Yeah, how Real Madrid have let him go.
That's got to be one of the bargains we've got.
We look at the Real Madrid
30 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, all the Real Madrid midfield as well, like people like Modric, Toni Kroos, they're coming towards the end of their careers, and they've let someone go like Ødegaard.
Yeah, it's mad. It's crazy.
But it's our game, I suppose, isn't it?
We've done well. by getting him in and all sorts. So we've improved what we've got, and that's where we go. We stick with what we've got, and I'm sure Zinchenko will come back. I don't think Zinchenko's going to be one that's going to keep getting injured. So
No,
if
no.
Partey is out, have we
Yeah.
got enough cover? I'd say yeah, because I still think Sambi can still do a job. But with Zinchenko in there as well, I think that also makes it a little bit more shored up as well.
Just
because-
if you bring another midfielder and it stops you don't have to worry as much, do you?
No.
No,
I mean,
think
I'd like to see Zinchenko Premier League and Zambi get the cups and the Europa League.
yeah, that's what I think will happen, really.
Oh,
that's the
just to,
conundrum, isn't it?
yeah, just to keep Zinchenko fully fit and free of injuries. I mean, I think it was an unlucky. You can sprain your knee, ankle quite easily, can't you? So
Yeah.
it's an unfortunate injury, and you've had three unfortunate injuries on top of each other.
And now Manny never gets injured, so that's his first. I think that's his first serious
Yeah, he's
injury.
Since
Really good.
2020, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't legislate for those sort of things.
No. Like I say, we don't look for a midfielder if our Manny's fit. Simple as that, really. So, but now January will come, or I assume January, and then they'll look to buy players that they're not. I don't think Arteta and Eddie are going to make that same mistake.
No, I think they've learned. Do I see?
It's very
I think
interesting. I was reading actually about players cancelling contracts. So basically, all these players who are now saying, "Oh yeah, I want to cancel the contract, want to rip it up, blah blah blah," that gets done. Then the players can just go and negotiate their own deal and sign for free outside the window.
Louise might do that because he's got the ump.
Yeah, so that's opening up a totally new kind of like way of thinking, like with regards to transfers and players and the power of players, I suppose, in a way as well, where you're suddenly thinking,
yeah.
well, this is a thing, isn't it?
Rip up the contract. I'm going to do this or
Because
whatever.
I didn't actually realise, Bellerin going today.
Yeah.
If he moves on, we get money for it.
Yeah, we've got a sell-on clause, haven't we?
Yeah,
So,
there'll be a clause.
Obviously, I thought that if it's a free. I only thought that happened if you.
Look, I think what they've done, they've been pretty savvy after seeing what they've now done with Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, he's what they're going to get 8 or 9 million euros.
Yeah.
Or Chelsea, yes, Chelsea paid.
Well, you say that. I don't even know if it's gone through.
I think it's 10 million, isn't it? They paid, and Alonso, 10 million cash, and
it's
Alonso.
all done. It's all done. It's just waiting full confirmation.
Okay.
But I think that's a late thing that they've said. Well, yeah, all right, we've seen you do what you've just done with Aubameyang. It's great that they've just gone and signed him and just said, oh yeah, you can have it. We've done them a deal, I imagine, to go there. So, and they've then just suddenly there you go. Oh, we've just got like another 10 million. And it's like,
I don't know if it's been mentioned either as well, but Miguel Aziz has gone out on loan.
To Ibiza, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish I was here.
It's definitely to Ibiza.
You said that earlier.
Which is all right. As long as he's getting game time, it's good, isn't it?
I bet he'll be getting different game time out in Ibiza.
Yeah, no, it's.
What's interesting though is I don't think Matt Smith's gone out on loan.
No, he hadn't.
And there's talk of him being brought into the squad, not to play. So I don't know if they're seeing stuff. I don't.
I mean, they might bring him in as cover. They might, especially for
Europa League or something.
To have
like you said, Richard, we could play our under-21s and probably beat most of those Europa League teams. So
he wouldn't be bad to have as cover for the Europa League, and then you see what happens. And if you still don't think he cuts it, you send him off in January, don't you?
Yeah.
Let's just look at that. So what we're saying is for Europa, it's going to be Matt Turner in goal.
Cedric.
Yeah, you're looking at
Cedric,
Holding,
probably
Tomiyasu to get the game time.
Tomiyasu. I'd say Tomiyasu, and then
I'd
Tierney.
have him there. Maybe
Well, I
Suarez
don't
on
know.
the
They
right.
played that They played that Waters a lot in the pre-season, didn't they? So
Yeah.
Yeah, he picked up an injury. I don't know if he's back yet. But
okay. And then
So
obviously it'd
Vieira-
be Tierney, wouldn't it?
So it'd be Vieira and Sambi.
Or
Not Sambi.
you could even play Sousa. You could probably play
Pinto.
Sousa.
Yeah.
Is it the Mexican or Spanish guy? De Sousa
and then
for me under 21.
midfield would probably be Sambi / Matt Smith or Vieira.
Yeah.
Then Smith Rowe, Eddie and Marquinhos, I would have thought.
Yeah, you might not put Smith Rowe in midfield. You might chuck him out for Martinelli, mightn't you?
Yeah.
And give Martinelli a rest, and then you possibly have Vieira, and you might even keep Xhaka in because he hardly gets in.
They won't play it. They'll play one of the first team, so
there'll be a lot of rotation, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think you'll see some games which some players will play, but yeah, I don't know. It's as I say, I think this is just an exciting time because if we're debating who is going to what squad or what team's going to play there, it means that obviously they've got a big kind of decision to actually make. So I look at it. I think it's real exciting time. I really hate getting negative and just in general, just oh yeah, we signed no one, but yeah, all right, yeah, but we've only reacted to a second central midfielder being injured this last week, and yeah, we've tried, we've failed. The team don't want to sell. Then what can we do? But it's not like we are totally down in the dumps like last season.
I suppose you could have done it United, couldn't you? You could have offered 50 million like they did for Anthony. Said got rejected and no, we're not paying any more, and then come back and paid 85 million.
Well, it was just silly.
That makes good business sense to me. But
the Martinez one was ridiculous, and then the Anthony one was even worse. So yeah, the Martinez one, we done exactly what we should do, and any club should do that. You know, you've got a value of a player. If you bid that value, you don't go over that value. And
it's the same as if you would do. It's the same as if you're doing something on eBay, isn't it? You look at something, say, I like it, I'm willing to pay that price, but I won't go over that price.
Yeah, well,
not if you're Man United.
But Man United, yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't know. It just words escape me with Man United's dealings. Paul Pogba.
Yeah, I think the only dealing that you can say was a good bit of business was Casemiro, wasn't it? But I don't know what they got him for.
See, I don't know. I think that's about £20 million more.
Yeah,
I mean,
he is a class. He is a class CDM.
50 million for 30-year-old.
Yeah, it's whether he's worth them, whether he proves he's worth that money, isn't it?
Yeah, he will be. He's better than their whole midfield put together.
I'd prefer to see Freddie McTominay on Sunday.
Yeah, just confirmed Marcos Alonso's joined Barcelona, so that's part of the Aubameyang group. It's about to be announced. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
It was quite fun. It was quite funny seeing these bodyguard try and push Sky Sports camera away. Did you see that?
Oh, no,
He-
I saw a
the
picture.
driver, yeah, the driver couldn't find the entrance to the medical centre, so he had to park 15 yards down the road. They got out of the carrier, walked down the road, and the Sky Sports reporter was talking to him, and the bodyguard was putting his hand over the camera.
He's got to get used to it. It's like in a shed, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's gone from Arsenal to Barcelona, then gone to Chelsea and having a medical in a shed.
He'll be at Newcastle next week.
Yeah. Oh. But what are your thoughts on him going there?
Not bothered to be honest.
don't bother me. I mean, he at the end of the day, he didn't fit our system. He didn't fit Arteta's system. The goals had dried up, and thank you for the memories, and best of luck in your future career. Just don't score against us.
I look at it a bit differently.
He weren't a
I see
legend
it.
at Arsenal, so that's where I'm a bit.
No, you take it. You say, yeah, you've given us some memories, whatever like that, and yeah, there's an affinity still with.
He obviously didn't care about the club because he's gone to Chelsea.
Well, look, then this is what I said about, and you're suddenly thinking, well, yeah, all these fans that idolise him, love him, and yeah, it's Aubameyang FC. I'll support whoever he joins. I look at it like that, and yeah,
Right, see
he
you
obviously
later.
has done things. He obviously has done things that have angered the management at the end of the day, and as an example and as a leader, you can't be doing those things. So he's done that straight away. But all these fans that idolised him as a player for Arsenal, he's basically stuck his fingers up at them by going to sign for them.
Yeah.
And I think that respect for those fans that probably have always stuck by him through him going proves what character that guy is. And yeah, you look at it like that, and that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, we're all fans, and I find it annoying that you'd even contemplate jumping to one of our rivals so quickly after leaving. And
especially the Chelsea forwards going to have an Arsenal tattoo.
Yeah. But yeah, I just look at it. I just think it's just I'm
glad we've got Jesus though instead of still having him.
Yeah. Am I regretting him going? No. But no. I think of it from a fan point of view and from that affinity and even just like you're looking at your children who idolise him, and then all of a sudden, he's playing for Chelsea now. And it's like, oh, don't like him now, and it's little things like that, and it's just I don't know. He showed a bit of lack of class, I think there, but that's why he's not at the club. But am I bothered? Am I gutted? No. If he wants to be like that, then let him. But yeah, he just joined a plastic club. Yeah,
because I don't think Chelsea's still got sorted their real problem, which is midfield out. I mean, Conte's aging, Jorginho's aging, Kovacic is, and then you've got Mount and that are more attacking midfielders, defensive midfielders. They're thin on the ground.
Yeah,
and I think that's where their problems really lie. And will Tuchel play to Aubameyang's strengths? He didn't play to Lukaku's strengths, did he?
No. Well,
so it'll be interesting to see.
Twice,
yeah.
It's quite nice, actually. I've just picked up Hector Bellerin's put out a little tweet thanking the fans and then saying goodbye. It's nice. Like I say, you always tend to forget he is Spanish. Well, the way he speaks.
Yeah, when you hear him talk, he sounds like.
It shows how long he's been at the club, and it's just it is a shame how it ended up, and you can only say good luck to you. Hope your career prolongs and you get back and then start enjoying it. But yeah, it's one of those, and you've got to move on. So yeah, it is a shame. But yeah, 2013 he made his debut. So
That's actually really old.
you look at that. Well, no, you do. You look at it and you think it's crazy. So you look at the Invincibles, and it's 18 years, and it's little things like that, and you just, mate, life is like going quicker and quicker, and then you realise.
I think that's old age.
Yeah, that's it. Then you realise, and then that's it, and then you end up start having conversations down the pub saying, "Yeah, back in the day," and then you're proper old. So
you're at school and you're wishing the day would go quicker, and then you're down the pub with your mate wishing it would slow down.
But at least I haven't said we last won the league in black and white.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I think. I think on that note, I think we may leave it there for tonight, because I don't think we're going to sign anyone now. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any kind of magic tricks.
I don't think there's any decent free transfers out there, is there?
No, there's no failed fax machines. There's nothing there now. So I think we're done, dusted for the transfer window. I think we've had a good discussion on the Arsenal. Yeah, I've got to get some more shows going a bit more regularly. But it's really good. I do a Sunday evening slot after in the evenings for like the match reviews over a little
that'd be cool.
with the channel at Cannon Fodder TV. So thanks for watching tonight, and George, Richard, Gary, and Tanner on the other side. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to speaking to you all again.
Cheers, mate.
You've been watching in the North Bank, and we move on to Old Trafford on Sunday.
Yeah,
Come on, the Arsenal. Predictions, go on.
2-0.
2-0. George?
Yeah.
I said 3-1 on Arsenal fans forever, so I'll stick to that.
I've gone 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1. Yeah, so let's hope that happens. So good night, Gooners. Yes, sleep well, and we'll get going again. Villa, get relegated.
Yeah.
Good night.